Thank you. The story is very simple. In 1959, I entered kindergarten, and I've never left school. The only difference is at some point they started to pay me for some reason. But other than that, I've been a continuing student for 63 years, and I want to continue in that mode. I grew up in a very socially aware household and community, in part in the shadow of the Holocaust, and in part a father who was a constitutional lawyer and labor lawyer out of poverty himself, and just taught me a lot because he was effortlessly aiming at social justice. When I grew up in the United States in the 60s, my first political memory is the Cuban Missile Crisis, then Kennedy's assassination, then protesting on the streets against Vietnam War, being taken by my father to migrant farm worker movements and meeting Cesar Chavez, falling in love with Robert Kennedy and watching him be assassinated. So I grew up in a very politically charged and aware environment in Detroit, Michigan, which had massive race riots in 1967, and tremendously shaken and determined to see what could be done to make the world work in a better way. And that's been my driving purpose. I got to Harvard in 1972. The first book that I was assigned was Limits to Growth, which started the environmental movement. I stayed at Harvard for 30 years. Then I went to Columbia University and to advise Kofi Annan at the UN, and have been at Columbia now for 20 years. So it's really a simple story. But I've been engaged in one basic question, which is why can't we put our knowledge and capacity to work for the sake of humanity? I'm taken in my adult life very much with a statement of President Kennedy in his inaugural address when he said, "The world is very different now, for mankind holds in his mortal hand the ability to end all forms of human poverty and all forms of human life." And I regard that as the fundamental question and puzzle. If we can end all forms of human poverty, why don't we? And are we smart enough to avoid ending all forms of human life? And I find the Church's social teachings fundamentally important in addressing these questions. And from my own work and studies and engagement with the Church, I find the possibility of the Church's teachings helping to fix the world to be a profound reality and opportunity. I wrote a book about President Kennedy's search for peace in 1963, where Pope John the 23rd played a crucial role in Pacem in Terris. I was an advisor to Solidarity in Poland, and thus was an advisor to Pope John Paul II on Centesimus Annus, and then came back to meet with Pope John Paul during the Jubilee year when he championed debt cancellation, and I was working very hard on that. I've been blessed to work with the three wonderful Secretaries General of the UN as their special advisor, Kofi Annan, Ban Ki-moon, and Antonio Guterres. And I've watched with awe as Marcelo has brought this Church's social teachings to the purpose of the world in the last 10 years by showing that they are fundamentally an inspiration for sustainable development. And your work is absolutely not only inspiring for all of us and inspiring for the Church, but transformative for the world. And when Pope Francis spoke on September 25th 2015 in the launch of the Sustainable Development Goals. We can thank Marcelo for helping to bring the Church and the United Nations together in this extraordinarily important challenge. And this, I think, is our mission, that the Church has so much crucial to offer, and the world has so much need, and we have so much knowledge and capacity. And if we can put it together before we destroy ourselves, we'll be doing a good job. Thank you.